Welcome to Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest.
On a VHS.
Yes.
It's vintage.
Yes, recorded originally from an NES to a VHS and then copied digitally, but who cares?
No, this is authentic. It's like I'm literally playing on an 80s TV.
Oh yeah,
Old
that
school,
reminds
yeah.
me. My dad recently got us one of those NES Classic systems.
And he does
complete
this
with
one.
the favorite games
I
on
tried it to a friend's house.
Mhm.
But yeah, Darkstar, would you want to say what the plot is for the sake of the two people
sure.
not knowing?
Well, for those of... Obviously, a lot of you played the original Castlevania, but here's the thing. By canon, at one point Dracula injures Simon but puts a curse on him, so that he will slowly die. And Simon's wounds do not
Like
heal.
now.
Yeah,
That's in
Dracula
air.
was kind of a sore loser like that.
And it's perfect timing. I gotta say, it's perfect time for us to be redoing this since recently they announced a new Netflix show based on Castlevania.
But there's a
Wonderful.
catch. If he doesn't revive the Count by collecting his 5 scattered parts and kill him again, he will be destroyed by the curse, and thus there will be no descendants and no Julius Belmont to save the day in 1999.
Yeah, you're getting ahead a bit too much, but yeah, basically the entire dynasty of Belmonts risk to be destroyed because of this, so might as well. And yeah, this game is notorious, alongside with probably Zelda 2, ironically enough, because of having such a bad translation in terms of NPCs not being helpful at all. Although these ones are a bit more cryptic and less buggy than the one of Zelda. It's notorious for having very cryptic also stuff to do. Like we will see later, the infamous crystal tornado thing. It's notorious throughout
I
any
love that
times.
part.
Yes.
Is this the game that has the I am error thing, or is that another game?
Actually, that's Zelda 2.
Yeah.
They made a joke out of it in Super Paper Mario.
What a horrible night to have a curse.
And yes, there's also this. There's a day and night cycle, and during night, the creatures are far stronger. Enjoy.
They take twice as much health damage to kill, but they give better hearts.
So basically, it's a trade-in. If you want to farm more and you will feel risky, go ahead, be our guest.
The only catch is that the towns will always be closed during nighttime.
Yeah, basically you have to
obvious
manage your options, pretty much. But for the rest of it, even for a sequel, the traditional Castlevania enemies are there. Mermen, skeletons, bats, everyone. However, as we will see later, one thing they did in turning down quote-unquote the difficulty were on the bosses. Pretty much all the bosses of this game are very easy compared to especially compared to the one of the first game. But then again, I cut some slack because this was actually a sequel title to a franchise that was still born, pretty much. So they were not sure what to do. It seemed to be a trend in the NES days of the second titles, not really sure what to do with their gameplay style, to change it or not. Final Fantasy even fell into that category, much to Pedro's dismay, I guess. But yeah, this one also, as probably also analyzed by Igor Raptor, I think, introduced the concept of exploration over the classic platformer structure of subsequential levels.
But back to what you...
Yeah, go ahead, Darkstar.
Back to what you were saying to you about the easier bosses. For example, in this game, Death only shoots one scythe, while in the original he could have up to 4 on screen at once.
Yeah, that's a bit of a step down. But yeah, basically the Castlevanias after this one, up until Symphony of the Night, will reprise the traditional platformer subsequential levels structure. But aside from, well, Rondo Blood does a different thing with branching paths and everything, but overall it's still the same of classic Castlevania. But from Symphony of the Night forward, the term Metroidvania is being born through the exploration a la Metroid, obviously. And many fans really loved it. So that's what they stick around with. And the new game, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, is taking that approach. So let's hope Vediga manages to deliver it.
Yes. Although, to be fair, there were remakes of The Adventure and Rondo of Blood.
Yeah, I played the remake of Round of Blood, the one for the PSP. A bit clunky for my taste, but overall good enough.
I love the new cast.
I mean, the voice actors.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I mean, especially because they included the PlayStation 1 version of Symphony of the Night, but they bothered to redub. So on one hand, you lose the very cheesy voice acting that was mimetic for the fans. But on the other hand, you get a good voice you get a good voice dub.
Oh, but that's
Yuri Lowenthal
Morning
as
sun has vanquished the horrible
But
night.
as I was going to say, apparently when Iga found out about the PS1 dub, he said, "I don't even speak English, and this is unacceptable."
Purchase a chain whip, yes. Again, yeah, you couldn't know to do this unless you probably read a Nintendo Power Guide. But basically, yeah, the chain whip is much more powerful, so it helps you destroy easily the enemies. And yes, the standard Castlevania musics are all there, Bloody Tears and all the others. I forgot who the composer is.
I know that in the original, the composer was Kinoyo Yamashita.
But usually Darkstar for a series like this, the composer just sticks around.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Come to think of it, Kinoyo Yamashita later went on to do the soundtrack of Mega Man X3.
Really? You don't say.
The composers of this game were actually three: Kenichi Matsubara, Satoe Terashima, and Koji Murata. Don't know any of these three in particular.
And the legendary Michiru Yamane would start in Bloodlines on the Genesis.
But of course.
And that last one you mentioned, wasn't she doing Bloodstained?
No, Bloodlines.
Yeah, Bloodlines is a Castlevania title.
It was the
for
one
the
that
Sega
takes place in
Genesis.
World War One.
Yeah, it's one of those non-canon Castlevanias,
but
which
that's
doesn't
just
involve
it.
the Belmont.
Oh, but that's just it. It is canon thanks to Portrait of Ruin.
No, actually, I thought Darkstar that those two were in their own separate continuity, but were different on the main one.
No, during Portrait of Ruin, one of the characters, whose name I will not spoil, talks about the Battle of 1999.
Yeah, I know, but I thought Portrait of Ruin also is not canon with the main series, so those two have their own separate storyline.
Let's just say, after a big mistake in the Richter era, the whip was passed down to the Morris family, which John and Jonathan were from.
Whatever. I mean, after all, the Castlevania timeline got very convoluted even by that point, and I mean, a lot of people bothered. One of the things that people bother about Lords of Shadow, Lords of Hero reboot, is that it rebooted the continuity altogether. But honestly, by the point where the series was going, it was the right thing to do, honestly, because I mean, after the last one chronologically, which is Dawn of Sorrow, I mean, after that, the story was pretty much done. Everything that you needed had pretty much a closure. You didn't need to go anymore. Go ahead,
To be fair, Iga did say that he admitted that he wrote himself into a dead end.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, after so many titles, and with the Sorrow titles being the very last in the timeline, and then we have written a very good closure, you cannot do too much stuff. And considering that he also wrote an origin story, Lament of Innocence. Yeah, basically you had pretty much a definite story through and through, and after that you could have just tried to do something in the middle, but they did pretty much all they did in the middle. So a reboot was the logical choice.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Devil May Cry, where the second game is sadly the end point.
The second game job is still regarded as canon, but conveniently is placed at the end of the timeline for a reason, because it has all the elements.
Yeah, but even still, though, it's such a lackluster ending for such a fantastic franchise.
I know, right? Because all the implications. I mean, the only thing it could be savage of.
We are in our first mention to collect the first piece of Dracula.
Which is which piece of is?
Let's just say I don't have the heart to tell you.
Yeah, basically we have to find all of Dracula's body parts to help undo the curse some way, somehow.
But also they're there to be very specific.
Oh, but don't worry. I'm sure that collecting all the body parts of the ever-famous Dracula won't backfire on us in any way whatsoever.
But yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
It only backfires if you get the bad ending.
Yeah, because there are different.
Well,
actually, there are
wait,
multiple endings in this
There are
game.
2 bad endings.
Yeah. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying.
We were talking about...
Oh, Devil May Cry. Yeah, basically, the only way that bad future of Devil May Cry 2 can be salvaged is that if Devil May Cry 5 takes place after it and fixes the implications of 2.
Yeah, at this rate, I'd say the best thing to do would be to retcon 2 with a 5th installment.
Yeah,
No,
but even
before-
then... Oh, Jesus, stacking blocks.
No, before I forget, Tio, I honestly didn't like the way they tried to stretch out the story with Dawn of Sorrow. I think Arya was a good ending.
Yeah, that too, but I could understand if they wanted to do something more with the character of Soma and everything. And again, Arya was a game for Game Boy Advance, the DS was much more powerful, so I could see Konami wanted to try something different, which they also did with Order of Ecclesia after that, so...
Yes, it was meant to fill in the blanks between the Richter era and the World Wars era.
Yeah. Which is actually really good. It's one of my favorite horror Ecclesia because it's so technically different. Not just because it has a female protagonist, but because of all its sealing mechanic. It knows. It's a game that knows how to use the Nintendo DS touchscreen in a way that's useful but not intrusive.
Besides,
because
we have
you
to
get
show
those
off
gimmick
Shinoa.
games that force you to use the Nintendo touchscreen, like Prince of Persia, fucking.
Besides, we get to have Michelle Ruff as Shinoa.
True. And she also appeared in Judgment, I think, but
Yep.
I haven't played that game, so...
I have a
cannot
copy,
tell.
but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, basically, Joe I think knows, but yeah, Pedro and Shiro, basically, they made a Castlevania fighting game for the Wii, and it's... gameplay-wise, it's actually really fun and good. The problem is they chose for character artist, for the artist of the characters, Takeshi Obata, which is a mangaka mostly known from Death Note, which
Yeah.
art style-wise has nothing to do with Castlevania. So you get
Yeah,
stuff,
but I,
you get Simon Belt, which looks identical to Light Yagami.
to be honest, I
Yeah,
like
that was
some
weird.
of the designs, but not many of them.
I mean, some of them still look
You
fine,
now
like
possess
Guard,
Dracula's
but... Go ahead, actually.
I said you now process Dracula's heart.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, again, typos. Another staple of the NES era.
The Spear Guards. It will appear again in Rondo of Blood.
Yeah. Again, iconic monsters setting in. But yeah, after adding
guys,
all...
my right ear is feeling so lonely.
Oh, but that's
Well,
just it. I
that's the
recorded-
good old days of the 80s when there was only mono sound.
Exactly. We only had one speaker in those days. And
Although-
we liked it!
I was born in the 90s.
Although
too.
to be fair, by my time we had our mono, yes, but we made sure to have it projected in both ears.
But yeah, basically, it's a product of its time, but yeah, the NES
I was too young to remember what we had.
Sound Twibs, if you're gonna complain, get off my lawn!
Well, then again, I had the Game Boy, and that was in mono, so...
Yeah, I had that one chip design.
Well, and the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
The SPs, because that's the
Yeah,
one.
I had the...
Yeah, I mean, in my country, the SP was the rich version of the one, the one that the rich kids had. I was the poor one with the standard model,
I had
and I
the-
couldn't play it. Like if the lighting was just a bit off, I couldn't play it because the screen did not have the
My
retro
brother-
illumination.
My brother had the original Game Boy, and I had the SP because clearly I'm the favorite.
I remember having to save up to get $100 to get the Game Boy Advance SP.
Wait, what?
Back in the good old days.
Yes, there was at some point when the Game Boy SP Advance did cost $100.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
How much did it
after
cost
time-
here?
Sorry, Dweebs,
I
can you
don't
repeat
know.
that?
Just checking
Oh,
out the Game Boy
the
Advance
pounds.
cost around here.
Well, let me check. Maybe it's listed here. I'll check in the meantime.
Launch price.
Advanced SP, there you go.
Oh, it still says $100, so that would have.
So I guess
pounds,
just
pounds,
the
pounds. It says, yeah, $100, 12,500 yens, 129.99 euros, 150 Australian dollars. No, sorry, 200 Australian dollars and 150 Canadian dollars. It doesn't say pounds, though.
No pounds.
Sorry,
Yes.
Lips, I guess your country did not.
Oh,
receive
but that's
this.
just it. I need to lose weight. What up?
But yeah, Darkstar, after getting the Dracula parts, what do we need to do with them?
We have to run to the castle.
Mm-hmm. And use a stick with you. You need to buy one. You need
Yes.
to buy sticks in order to sacrifice, I guess.
We have to throw
Parts.
the oak stakes at each orb to have them release the bag with the piece inside.
Yeah, and then after getting all the parts, we need to go back to the ruins of Dracula's castle and revive him just to
Exactly.
destroy
The
him.
ruins of the castle look genuinely depressing even in 8-bit.
Yeah, that's because, we are running a bit too much, but we will see. Basically, the ruins of the castle are literally that. In averting the traditional final dungeon structure, they're really empty, with barely any encounters in them.
In the castle, there's literally no one there.
Yeah.
Not even bats.
Oh, that's sad. Which is actually weird, considering that after later on, even when Dracula is not absent, his castle is always active somehow due to even cult magicians or people that are plotting to revive him.
Oh, before I forget, anyone want to guess what the next part is?
The finale.
No, I'm talking about the Dracula.
Oh, the Dracula part. I forgot. Is it?
Let's just say, I had ribs for dinner.
Yeah, there you go. It's the ribs. Yeah, apparently.
I like ribs.
Apparently, among
too.
other stuff that you get from Dracula, to get one of his ribs. Okay.
Especially if they're plastered in barbecue.
Hey, me
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
Yes,
I'm
let's
not
just
a
take
big
a
fan of
vampire's
sausages,
ribs and
so-
eat them.
I gotta tell you, Famous Dave's makes these great barbecue sauce ribs.
Yeah, basically, Darkstar. Every passing week, it turns up me and Shuri apparently had the same childhood.
There we go. Stick to the
You talk
You
about ribs.
now process
Process.
Dracula's
Process.
Congratulations.
Jinx.
Congratulations.
You may talk about ribs, but ribs were my first ever solid food I ever ate.
Mm,
I think
Well-
mine was a sandwich.
I think mine was a sausage or
We
something.
went from gothic horror to talking about food.
Mine was,
What was
I
yours,
think,
Pedro?
I think,
Oh, go on.
I don't know. I think cereal. I don't know.
Well, I meant like, well, aside from, the obvious breakfast.
Pedro, don't! You'll become a serial killer.
A hamburger, I think.
Nice.
Oh, great,
so
now
no-
he's a hamburglar.
I was just about to make that joke, Shiroi. How dare you steal my joke?
Anyway.
We steal each other's jokes all the
Oh.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You committed grand theft joke. Wait, is that even a thing?
I suppose.
Now it is.
Well, actually, it is, considering Carlos Garcia steals all of his jokes from someone else.
Carlos Mencia, you mean?
Carlos Mencia, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely Mr. GTJ himself.
GTJ. I so want Rockstar to make that game now.
Oh, speaking of grand theft, in the King Chronicle books, Bast, the Egyptian cat goddess, commits grand theft auto shortly after being introduced.
Okay, because
I'm
it
not
was a
even
cat.
kidding.
I
Yes.
guess it wasn't because of a cat. Okay.
So what? She comes in and steals someone's car.
Yes, she steals a car. It's like, I don't care, everything I see is mine, because I'm a cat.
Well, it's reflected also in Dragon Ball Super with Beerus, kinda. Jeez.
Cats are too lazy to take care of shit, so.
I guess, Darkstar, is this the part where you have to do the tornado shit?
This
Not
is-
yet.
This is exactly why I own a dog, because cats are boring.
We still have one more piece to go before the tornado.
Alright then.
Do you want to guess what it is?
The eye?
Oh man, you got an eye on it all along.
I it literally guessed because it's been so.
So I know
What
the
about his arms or his
so
legs?
yeah, I know the AVGN already brought this up in his original video, but I might as well ask, since Darkstar is expert on this shit. Why the hell is Simon gathering up all the parts of Dracula?
I already said he was black to reviving him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
He's compelled by the curse, basically. The problem is, well, that's the thing. The problem, I think, the intro story doesn't explain it very well. The manual, I think, does it a bit.
Yes, the manual explains it.
But again, it's not it's not that much, and the game is translated so poorly that it doesn't do a good job. I mean, I haven't checked the fan translation, retranslation that they made, but according to James, it seems to be very good. So,
Though, to be fair, if I had to choose between the American and Japanese version, I'd go with this simply because it had better music.
mm-hmm.
That, and we didn't have to worry about load times.
Mhm.
The Famicom Disk System version had load times.
Yeah, the Famicom was technically inferior in quality, but so I never get why the Japanese didn't, improve it.
The
Technicolor.
new Famicom.
Actually, that was a
Also,
Super Famicom.
also seizure-inducing graphics.
Yeah, I guess that's acid or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
the swamp is poisonous. All swamps are poisonous here.
They do tend to be in video games.
But of course.
Let me show you the way.
Okay.
I know
To
the
Amarillo?
way.
Oh,
I
that's
am
not
the one.
Beware of a man who speaks with hands.
Funny enough, I heard that song last week in the university's local shop.
All right then,
Oh,
Darkstar.
We will continue to lay the smackdown on more terrible things in the next part.
On the
See you
candy
then,
actors.
if you
Yeah.
survive.
Alright, see you everybody.
Yeah.